What is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday.
Whoop, whoop.
Happy Wednesday. Katie, how are you doing this lovely, beautiful Wednesday, March 23rd of 2022?
I'm doing great.
It's awesome. Well, let's talk about what we talked about last week. What did we talk about last week? And then we kind of transition to what we're going to talk about this week.
Well, we started by talking about me, but then the actual podcast was about Keto's deal. What about me? I don't know. My eye.
Your eye. And it was Lainey's birthday.
Lainey's birthday.
Week. But the juicy stuff was we talked about the deal that we're currently in. And if you remember, what was the deal?
It was too good to be true.
It's not too good to be true.
It was it's a BRRRR strategy. It's a single family home that we're converting into a duplex. $100,000 purchase price, about $100K in renovations, and ARV is $320. So there's some room there for some fun stuff.
Yeah. So the goal at the moment is to keep that property, and then it'll cash flow a little over $1,000 every single month, and we won't have any cost basis in the deal after we refi the property out, right? And so last week we also gave people an opportunity to invest in that deal as a private money lender, about a 6-month time frame with 10% interest on about $30,000. And so we actually had a ton of people reach out to us. So thank you guys for reaching out. And we did, honestly, the first person to reach out to us, we gave her the opportunity to invest with us. And so that's rocking and rolling. And we're excited to have her come in with us and walk her through the process and show her how it's done. Right. And so if anybody is interested, in deals going forward, please reach out. This week we don't have a current deal that we're going to be presenting, although we do have another one locked up. Just got the contract literally right before I got on this. So we do have another deal under contract, which is pretty sweet. But we're not going to go over that deal this week. We're going to go over a past deal that we did. What happened on that deal, Katie?
Yeah, this past deal is super fun. So another deal where we have zero of our own money down, and we cash flow roughly, anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 a month.
That is cheating.
Which is awesome.
It feels like cheating. So, yeah. You want to talk about that deal?
Yeah. So, a little backstory. My mom has lived in the same house prior to her doing this deal with us. She lived in the same house for...
Wait, so your mom is the person...
My mom is our partner.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
My mom is our partner.
Cool.
And prior to doing this deal with us, she has lived in the same house for 30 years. 30, I don't know. Maybe not quite 30, 25 years, 28 years or something like that. She's done a couple refinances, and honestly, she had a ton of equity sitting in the house. She had almost $300,000 of equity sitting in the house.
Yeah, which in most markets is a lot of freaking money.
Yes.
Is it a lot of money in our market?
No.
Why is that?
Because you cannot go out and buy something outright for $300,000 here.
What the heck? These people who are in Alabama and who are in Arkansas,
That's fine. They can
Tennessee,
go out and do that. In Bozo, Montana, you cannot do that.
What is the median home price in Bozo, Montana?
Median home price, I believe, was $780,000. It's probably higher now.
Yeah, $780.
$780,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. How do people even live in a place like this?
Yeah, we make it work. It's fun.
Well, some people don't, right?
Some people don't.
This is why we're in this situation.
Yes.
So go back to your mom. Why was she having struggle when she was equity rich, man?
She was equity rich, and her mortgage payment, I think, was about $1,400 with everything included at the time. And it was just eating her alive. She was a hairdresser, single mom, raised 2 kids. I believe I turned out okay. But, she was an empty nester. My brother and I were full grown, and she had this giant house, giant yard. 2 years ago when Lainey was born, literally a week after I was born, my mom was trying to get ice off of the roof because her gutters were clogging. They were jamming from an ice jam. And she slipped off of a ladder, shattered her foot, and couldn't work for a while. Was having issues working. She's a hairdresser. So you have to be on your feet. And when you have a shattered foot, it's really hard to work. So basically her mortgage payment was eating her alive. And she really had some sentimental attachment to that house. She really didn't want to let it go. But after we talked for a while, she realized that, maybe it was time that she sold her home. So we finally got her to, I think I'm gonna sell my home. Let's see what happens. So she sold sold it, and in the process of selling the home, we had stumbled upon multiple deals where we would partner with her that fell through. But then we landed on the $600,000 building, and we partnered with her.
Yeah. And so, oh, my internet is like being, I think it's being laggy right now. I don't know. Can you guys see us? Is our internet being laggy? This is happening again. I don't like that this happens.
Tell us if you can hear us clearly.
Yeah, this is our connection is unstable. It's garbage. Let us know if you guys can in the comments, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on the Facebooks. Let us know what's happening here. This is frustrating. The internet. Give us better internet.
There's one more bar. It it's a bit laggy, but she can hear okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, so my mom decided to partner with us, and she had about $300,000 of equity.
Well, she didn't decide to. We made her partner with us.
We did.
You know, this was a process over a couple of years that we're like, hey, time to get out of this house. It was more sentimental value to her than anything, that she just like had this house. It was a, you know, 4-bedroom home, and she was the only person living in it, and lots of upkeep. She fell off a roof the year before because she was trying to work on her roof or her gutter or something crazy, and broke her foot, which didn't put her out of work, and lots of issues, right? And so we said, hey, let's help you out here, right? And so that was our goal, is to, how do we find a win-win situation? Like, we understand how to real estate, we understand how to invest in real estate, and, you know, she had some equity, and so that's where we came with this idea of partnering up. Our target property was finding something that had multiple units, right? 2 units that we could turn to 3, 1 unit that we could turn to 2. That was our target property that we were looking for. And like, as Katie mentioned earlier, we actually had another property under contract. They ended up falling through. It was literally right across the street.
Would have been so cool.
And
Grandma would have lived across the street.
And it was a good deal. And halfways, it was just like this emotional, like, how cool would it be for your mom to live across the street? And we had it under contract. It was like this close to closing, and it literally just fell apart.
Yeah. So the whole goal in this partnership was not necessarily to partner in real estate and become like lifelong wealthy friends. It was actually to allow my mom to become financially free. Because her mortgage payment was eating her alive, the reason that we wanted to do this was basically to get her out of paying a mortgage. I personally wanted her to be financially free and not have to work if she didn't want to. So she collects Social Security. So I wanted her Social Security to be able to cover all of her expenses, and she wouldn't have to work another day in her life if she didn't want to. So that was why we were looking for a duplex, a triplex, something that had multiple units in it, so we could use the other unit to pay the mortgage on the property.
Yeah. And so our agreement, our partnership, the overall partnership with her was that, hey, you use that equity. So you sell your house, use that equity as a down payment, and then we will cover the mortgage. And our goal is to find at least a property that at least covers that mortgage and potentially even cash flows, right? That was our initial agreement we said before we even found the property. So that was our intention. And so
property number one fell through, right? And so how do we end up finding the deal that we're currently in? Well, it was actually something sent to us by a real estate agent who literally did our first deal and just did our last deal. He's the one who's actually been the main source of our deals. He sends us good deals. And how long did it take us from the moment that I got the email till we locked it up? 2 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes.
Right. And so again, if you guys are starting to see a trend, if you go back and you watch our video with the deal we locked up a couple weeks ago, like, speed is king. Speed is what matters. If you take your time and you sit back and like, you know what, I want to go do an inspection. I want to go do this. I want to just ensure that I'm making the right decision. You think you're going to win or you're going to lose on that deal?
Well, I think you phrased that a little bit. You still need to do your due diligence, but by signing a contract and getting it locked up, there are contingencies that you can get out of it if the inspection doesn't come back correctly. So get that property under contract, because if you can't get financing, if the inspection doesn't come back great, or if the appraisal and the funding doesn't come in, you have an out. But without having that contract signed, you don't even have an in. Yeah. So yes, speed is king in signing a contract.
Which is a great point. So when it comes to your contract, your agreement, like, understand that you have contingencies in there to protect yourself, right? A simple one is an inspection contingency, a finance contingency, an appraisal contingency. Like these are all things that you can have in there. You can have, like, you can even make things up, right? So especially in a competitive market, when someone's going to pick an offer, if they see all these, if they all see all these contingencies in there, they're like, well, we're not going to go with your offer, we're going to go with somebody else. If you're competing against people. So you also can put in there, hey, just contingent on my partner, right? So you can get rid of all those other three and just contingent on your partner. And ultimately, I can just go to my partner and say, hey, you want to do this deal?
Nope.
And then you're out of the agreement, right? And so understand that that agreement, that initial contract is literally just to lock it up. Get it so it's your first right to refuse the property. And then you have due diligence period to go through and do an actual inspection. Actually make sure that it does make sense, because that is a piece of the underwriting process. Once you have it locked up, but what's the point of doing all that work if you're going to get beat out by 5 other bids who you're not even close to? Like your offer's not even close.
You're not even going to do the work until you get that locked up.
We don't even do the work until we get it locked up, right?
Yeah.
So that's how we found the deal. We found it through a real estate agent. As soon as I saw it, I was like, go lock it up, right? And we ended up locking it up. I think that was for $600 and we paid $600, right? That's what we got locked up for. And so as far as funding the deal, Katie, like, what was the funding? How did that whole piece of the process work?
You might have to actually lock numbers in, because I don't know if I recall them exactly how they were. But my mom basically put down a $200,000 down payment. This was a commercial property. So this property was a live work. So an 800 square foot warehouse, an 800 square foot office, and an 800 square foot apartment upstairs. So she was going to house herself in the 1-bedroom, 800 square foot apartment upstairs, and we were going to rent out the warehouse office space to pay the mortgage. So my mom came in and put a $200,000 down payment down.
It was like $225,000.
Okay, down payment of $225,000. So in a commercial property,
let me start for 1 second. So you see how we say this? We bought a building with $600,000 with no money down. Is that true?
None of our money down.
Therein lies, right? So understand that every single deal is going to have money and it's going to have credit involved in it in some way or another, right? Some way or another, it's going to have either somebody's money or somebody's credit or reputation on the line. Does it have to be your money, Katie?
No.
Does it have to be your credit?
No.
Or your reputation?
No.
Can you piggyback on someone else's reputation or their credit
or
their money?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so she put down a $225,000 down payment, and we actually got the financing. So we used our credit, but her money for the initial down payment. I think that's the basis of it. And then the agreement moving forward after we were to close was we would be responsible to pay the mortgage. So we have an 800 square foot warehouse and an 800 square foot office building to cover the mortgage of, what's the mortgage?
So the mortgage is $2,640, and then the HOA is another additional $200. So it's about $2,800 all in.
Perfect. So $2,800. We have 1,600 square feet to pay $2,800. And so my mom lives for free. She doesn't pay a mortgage. She doesn't pay anything. All she pays is electricity, her cable, and I think that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, so when we bought the building, there was a warehouse and an office, which actually were combined, and they were all used as one unit when we bought it. Yep. Right. And so that's how the funding worked. Is we got the down again. She put the down payment down. We got the funding. Our mortgage and our HOA is about $2,800. And our agreement with her was that she lives for free, no mortgage anymore. And then we cover that monthly payment. Now, was our intention ever to actually pay the monthly payment?
No, we wanted the unit to actually pay the $2,800 a month.
Yeah. So our initial agreement was just like, hey, we just want to at least break even. We don't want to lose money. But is that what happened?
No. So crazy story, actually. We listed this property as about as many different creative ways as you could. We listed it as a live work, being that you could live in the office side and work in the warehouse side. We listed it as just a warehouse space. We listed it as just a living quarters in an office. We listed it every way you could imagine. And honestly, the response that we got was not overwhelming. It was kind of like, what are you guys doing? Like, I can't pay you $1,600 for a warehouse. Yeah.
We were trying to get $2,800 for the whole thing. And it wasn't working. Right. And we're in a very, our rent is very high in our market and it's very in high demand. And we still were not getting traction. We're like, something's not right here. So we had to go back to the drawing board and we started looking at this property from a different point of view. Like, hey, what if we actually divide this into 2 different units. So what if we just keep one side a warehouse, and what if we take the other side and we turn it into an office? And again, that didn't necessarily work. So then we decided to turn that into a residential unit, and then we had this bright idea of
Airbnb.
let's Airbnb this baby, right? Let's make this into a short-term rental. And so what we ended up doing is on the office side, it had a half bathroom, so it had a sink and a pooper. The warehouse had what?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. It was literally just a shell, just like you would normally see a shell, right? And so we decided to actually invest some monies. So that actually do actually have zero cost basis in this deal.
No, we paid for the construction costs.
Yep. So we have construction costs in this deal where we actually put a full bathroom into the office side, right? So we add the shower, and then we put a full bathroom, so a shower, a sink, and a toilet into the warehouse side, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now they both have their own bathroom. Then we put a wall in between those things to separate them. And then what ended up happening?
They rented.
Well, what do we do on the left side, on the Airbnb side? What's with Airbnb?
Yeah, the Airbnb. So the fire inspector has to come in and basically approve that you have a short-term rental, that it's up to code, right? Like you're a housing facility. So basically, any hotel, any housing facility, you have to pass inspections in our city. So the fire inspector came out and he said, "Well, this isn't going to work because you don't have egress windows. However, if you take this office wall down and open it up and kind of make it like a studio, we can use this door as your egress exit." So we opened the wall up. It's a big wide open space. It's a big studio apartment with a king size bed, a little table for meals, and then also a lounge area with a TV. And the full bathroom is back in the corner. By opening it up, it was fire safe. The egress windows, or the door became an egress exit, which was awesome. So we short-term rental it now. And
what does it do on average every single month?
Yes, on average, our studio does about $2,800.
Yeah, which does what?
Which is about what the mortgage is. So it pays the mortgage. Just that little 800 square foot studio pays the $2,800 in mortgage.
That's pretty cool.
My mother lives upstairs, and she's kind of a neatnik and kind of like a clean freak. So she just loves turning that short-term rental over. So it's kind of her baby as well. Which she loves taking pride and joy in the property, and she loves caring for it. She loves cleaning it. So it's mutually beneficial.
Yeah. So it's a perk that she also gets to make a little bit of money by cleaning it as well. However, we do own a cleaning company. So at any moment we could have any of our other cleaners go in there and clean it. And sometimes they do, right? If she's not available for whatever reason. So a cleaning is also helpful for her. She makes a little bit of money on the property. So not only does she live for free, we actually make some money from the property. How cool is that? Right. And then the other side, what happened on the other side? So we have a full bathroom in there and 800 square foot shop.
We had a full bath, and we were like, hey, this is actually a live work itself. This 800 square foot box. It used to be 1,600 square feet live work. Now it's 800 square feet live work, and we're going to get somebody in here to live and work. And applications came in, and the only promising application that we actually received was from a dental lab. So there's a prosthodontist in town who does really jacked up cases, and his lab creates beautiful smiles for people. So we actually rent that space out to a dental lab now. And it's been awesome. They're phenomenal tenants. They actually put more money into the unit, upgraded some electrical, and they wanted to sign a long-term lease on the front end. And we said, unfortunately, let's just start with a year because we didn't know what we were going to do. Next time the year rolls around, we'll probably sign a longer-term lease.
Yeah. And how much do they pay every single month?
They pay, I think we agreed on $1,700, but they did some renovations, so it's about $1,550 now.
Yeah. So we helped them pay for some of the renovations inside I think paid $120, $150 a month to help them with some renovations to make it so it works for their business. So yeah, their original agreement, I think, is $1,650. And I think after they did some capital expenses and some upgrading to the building, I think it ended up being about $1,530 is what they ended up paying after those modifications were made. So with that being said, how much does that place cash flow?
About $1,500.
Which ain't too bad considering that our cost basis again of the deal was zero. Now, how much do we have in construction?
It was about, I think it was about 30, 20. I can't remember.
17,000.
17,000. Too many construction
Katie
projects.
knows all the numbers.
So
Yeah.
how long will it take to recapture $17,000 of construction costs? Let's just say it cash flows $1,700 a month for easy math.
Oh, so 10 months?
10 months.
So it'll take us 10 months. And have we owned this building for over a year yet?
No.
Soon, right? In about a month, we'll own it for a year. And then we'll basically have no money into the deal, even after the construction cost. And we'll literally just have free cash flow. And the coolest part
is Mama lives for free.
Almost for free. We gave her an opportunity that she was working 5 days a week. How many days a week is she working now?
1.
And does she even have to?
No.
She does it because she needs to get out of the house. And she probably should work some more to get out of the house more, right? Give her something to do. And so that's the cool part about doing a deal like this is that it truly, like, when you look for partnerships, it's looking for, how do I serve this other person? Like, what do I have that I can help them with? And ultimately, it's like, well, what do they have as well that I can help use to make something, to structure a deal that works for both parties. And that is really the coolest part about these type of real estate deals is that they're all going to be different. Like, how many other partnerships do we have?
Like people or partnerships?
Yeah, like other people who we partner with, like equity partners. So we have people that we debt partner with, and that the people invest with us as far as equity partnerships. Yeah, and are those partnerships the same that we do with your mom?
No.
Are they the same in what they do with each other?
No.
Right, they're all different, right? And so ultimately, they're all structured based on the unique tangibles, the unique value that we bring and they bring to the table.
And that's the coolest part about real estate and partnerships is literally like what you're good at, you can keep and you can, provide value and then everybody wins. So let's just do like a little deal overview. So 600,000 live work unit, purchase price of 600,000.
Yep.
Mom puts down 225,000. Mortgage payment is, what was it? 2,800. Okay, $600,000 purchase price. Mom puts down 225,000. Mortgage is 2,800. We tell mom she gets to live for free. We're going to cover the $2,800. The short-term rental within the 800 square foot costs $17,000 to build. That pays $2,800 a month, which covers the mortgage. Dental lab is next door in the warehouse, and that basically pays $1,500 a month. So we're cash flowing $1,500 a month with $17,000 of construction costs that we've put in.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not too bad.
Not too bad.
Not too bad at all. Yeah. So that's our deal breakdown for this week. Again, we've owned that deal for about a year now. We're almost have no money left in that deal, and yeah, it's been a great deal. And that was one of the first partnerships. I guess it was the second partnership that we did that kind of led us to this idea of like, hey, like, let's do more deals with people because it's pretty fun to not only have us grow our wealth, but now in turn we get to have someone like Katie's mom grow her wealth with us and do partnerships. And it's like it's fun doing deals with other people, right? It's fun dealing with challenges and issues. Like, is there issues with this property?
Yes.
Right. And sometimes they're as simple as like right now, what's going on with this property?
The roof is a flat roof.
It's a flat roof.
A bird pooped on the roof and it created a leak because more birds came and ate the bird poop.
Right. And so while we're telling you the highlights, there always is challenges, always things that are going on behind the scenes. There always will be. So it's why it's important to develop or to have good relationships with people you do business with, because things are going to go crazy, right? Things are going to go wrong. Even on a great deal like this, there's still things that are happening. Now, fortunately, there's not going to be any money out of pocket. More, it's just like a time and an attention investment that we're putting into getting a roof fixed. But
because we have insurance.
Yeah, of course, right? So anyway, the whole point is that developing relationships with people is what this is all about, and that's why we do these things, because we want to invest with you guys, and we want you to invest with us. And let's do deals together, let's grow our wealth together, and that's what this game is all about. Is truly like using each other's resources and assets to build each other up, and like the more we use each other, the further we can go, right? Like the bigger the goals, the more people that you need, and we have big goals, and we want to bring as many people as we can with us, and do some really, really cool things, and honestly, just make lives of the people around us so much better, make the world just a better place when we're able to collaborate with each other.
I think one of the sayings that you always say is, would you rather have the entire grape or a slice of the watermelon?
Yeah.
And I love that analogy. Like, heck yeah, let me in that watermelon and let me get a bite of that.
Exactly.
Because it's huge.
It's a big watermelon. Every time, it's funny because I had this conversation with a contractor yesterday. It's like every time we fly into a new city, I'm looking down. I'm just seeing all these houses. I'm like, wow, there's like, think about all just the windows and all the roofs. I was thinking about like all the rental money that you can have. It's like, what if you just own this small little block? Like how much money comes in? And so when you think about it from that standpoint, like there's so much to go around and get over this idea of like competition and greed and selfishness and like how do we do things together? How do we collaborate? That's really what our mission is. That's why we do these things. So with that being said, like I said at the beginning of this, we actually just got another deal under contract. Right? Katie is like, no idea. And I'm not even going to tell her. I'm not going to tell her about this deal until next week. I'm going to tell you guys about this deal. And we're going to give you guys an opportunity to invest in this deal. Right? And so it's going to be fun. And we're going to break it down live next week. And hope you guys are excited about it. So if you guys are excited, let us know. Right? Let us know. And if you guys want to invest with us, you guys are interested, or at least getting a game plan. Whether you want to invest with us, you're just like, hey, I got some money sitting around, or hey, like I'd like to get into real estate. I don't have any money. Like, how do I provide value to somebody, whether it's you or somebody else, to get into this game of real estate? Because ultimately, like, can real estate change your life?
Yes.
Can I do it in a relatively short amount of time?
Yes.
And so, really, squash this idea of doing it by yourself and figure out how to collaborate and how to get around people who are already doing it. Proximity is power, right? And we've had this belief in all of our other businesses. The reason why we have mentors and we pay lots of money to get around high level people. And so the cool part of real estate is you actually don't have to pay money to that individual. You can pay money towards the asset, and you can still get to be around them. You get to literally shortcut that process of like paying an individual where you can just pay an asset and still get to be part of that person's in that person's airspace. It's like freaking cheating.
It's awesome,
isn't it?
Yeah,
I think it is. Cool. All right, Katie, anything else you want to say about this deal?
No, this is honestly probably my favorite partnership because a goal of mine was to help my mom become financially free. And she'll be 70 this year. And, she's worked a lot of hours. She's given her whole entire life to literally her house. She lived and breathed for that thing. And now to watch her be mortgage free, it's just one of my favorite deals.
Yeah. So if you guys are on the Instagrams, go follow Katie and I down below. Katie Manzanares and Logan Lee Manzanares. Follow us there on the Instagrams. I'm always posting cool things on there about real estate, cool little hacks, whether you're a landlord, whether you want to get into the game of real estate, get on there and go follow us. We're also on Facebook as well. Same names, Katie Manzanares, Logan Manzanares. And go follow me if you're watching this on YouTube, awesome. Like this video. Go tell your friends about it. If you're not watching on YouTube, go follow us on YouTube as well, Logan Lee Manzanares, where we're making posts and streams like this every single week.
Yep.
Every single week, we're going to start doing more than just once a week. So be ready for it. There's lots of cool stuff. And again, our goals out there is to get people not only just educated, but walk people through live examples, because I think most people are like us. Like, it's monkey see, monkey do. Once you see somebody else do it and you look at us, like, are you special?
No.
I mean, I think you're special. But are we special?
No.
I think we are. But once you see like normal people like us doing deals like this, and you see that we went from doing zero real estate to over $6 million in less than 3 years, like, how are they doing that? And we just want to walk you through that process to show you, like, it's really not that difficult. It's really not that hard. And we're fortunate enough to have mentors show us the way, and we want to in turn pay it forward and show you how to do it as well. And honestly, we want you to do it with us, because then we can go from 6 million up to 50 million. And then of course we gonna hit 100 million, homie. You cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. My name is Logan Manzanares.
Katie Manzanares.
And we are out.
Bye.
Bye.